Which keepsake in Elden Ring is the best? Today, that's what I'll be answering. There are 10 keepsake options in the game, but one of those is nothing. So, I'll only be including 9. And keepsakes are mainly early game items, so I'll just be testing them out on, like, the Tree Sentinel, or whatever else early game boss I decide. This is a very subjective ranking. Aside from one at the bottom, you could realistically put any of these in any order. None are like game breaking, but some do give some great early game benefits that I believe, at least anyway, are much better than others. But don't get upset at me if I rank one of your favorites really low. So yeah, let's just get into it. In last place at number 9, I have Shabiri's Woe. Shabiri's Woe just increases the draw radius for enemies so they can spot you from further away. I'm not sure if it also affects how easily they can spot you if you're crouching. But either way, it's generally not a good thing to have. The only reason you'd want to equip this talisman is if you're using it for a mimic tier and then you unequip it so that they target the mimic. But that still is a really niche scenario, so overall, just would not recommend using this. At number 8, I have the Bewitching branches. Now, the main use for these is just to play around with because they're kind of fun. They allow you to bewitch enemies to fight for you, which is cool in concept, but it's a consumable and you only get 5. And you can't bewitch every type of enemy, so that kind of sucks too. Plus, there's a really long animation to wind up for it. It does have one use when you're fighting Commander Niall. You can bewitch his summons, but other than that, it's not very practical. Number 7, I have the Cracked Pot. Now, throwable pots aren't really the most exciting or useful items, and you can't even use them without crafting and crafting materials, so you'll have to get a crafting kit from Kale first. But you'll realize Kale sells several cracked pots for 300 runes, so the Lands Between rune makes these really redundant, because you could buy 3 for much less than you get with that. At number 6, I have the Crimson Amber Medallion. This is the first keepsake that I'd say is a good choice, but you can like whatever you like, I guess. If you like Bewitching branches, that's fine. But the Crimson Amber Medallion just gives you, I think, like, maybe 8% extra health, something like that. Maybe less, maybe it's only 4% and the upgraded version is 8%. Either way, not a huge increase, but it could save you in a pinch. So, not a bad thing to have, even though you can buy it for, I think, 1,000 runes pretty early anyway. But still, not a bad choice. Right in the middle at number 5, I have the Boiled Prawns. These just give you a defense boost for a short period of time, but they are consumable and you only get 5. Despite sometimes needing 2 per fight, these are really, really useful. Early game, when you don't have that many heals, just having that extra defense just makes whatever bigger you have feel much bigger, you know? You can buy more of these in Liurnia, but still, that's Liurnia. You can just ride your horse. You can ride Torrent in the secret path, but I still like having them early. Now at number 4, I have the Golden Seed. Just having an extra heal early game is game changing. Because going from 3 heals to 4 is really significant. Because when you have no vigor and you're kind of dumb early game, you're going to be burning through heals. Having an extra one helps a lot more than you'd think. But if you do know where to look, you can find like 8 extra heals almost immediately without fighting any bosses. It'll take you a minute to travel, but you don't really need to go. Well, you do have to go that far, but it's not that much effort. It just takes a minute. But all in all, the Golden Seed is one of the best, and its rank reflects that. At number 3, I have the Stonesword Key. It's this high because really you're picking the hero's grave as your keepsake. I mean, you could use the Stonesword Key for something else later on, but this is the first application where you can input it, so this is really what it's going to be used for, you know. It's not a bad use either. You can get some good items from this dungeon. You can get some golden runes, as well as a really good seal, the Dragon Communion seal, and if you can beat the boss, you can get a good summon. At number 2, I have the Lands Between Rune, and this is really like a tie with number 1. I just decided to put it here because it only gives you like 3.5 levels or something, which if you pump it all into vigor is very, very nice. Can make you feel like a tank early game at least. But overall, I think the Fanged Imps are just a smidge better. But the Lands Between Rune, it can also be used for buying things from Kale and other merchants, so it is versatile in its uses. Mainly though, when I pick it, I just pump it into vigor, just because vigor is so useful in this game. Number 1 is the Fanged Imp summons. The main reason is they do a lot of bleed buildup, so they can proc bleed really fast. They really help with DPS, especially in early game, but they can help late game too. You don't even have to level them up. Plus, if you kill the Tree Sentinel with them, you get 3,200 runes anyway. So it's like a Lands Between Rune for free. You can buy them later on for 2,000 runes, but that's in Liurnia, so I'd rather just have them straight off the bat. There are better early game summons, but not really any that aren't locked behind some sort of boss. Plus, the bleed makes them one of the best anyway, so you can't really go wrong picking them. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe for more.